Me fambo de una good day, una cabo once more. This now una picking BASARAKA. I can talk about the executive arm of government. But today I talk now the executive arm and the importance of the executive arm. I get for out the balance to una later. But for now I just try for out this to me fambo there. But una take one nice music in the white paper.
Hey, but Joe, you hear the white paper?
Am I left Sam? I don't clean so they can't tell me white paper. I beg Sam, anything come on the use, so it's me for benefits. Man go before go.
This federal against corruption. But better for be honest though, we want to see fair play oh.
We want no waiting when we country go benefit and this white paper. Hey. We all man they talk on the white paper. We want no waiting when we people go benefit and this white paper. Hey. We all man they talk on this white paper. But waiting at this white paper, we want make the country turn over. Now waiting at this white paper, we want put the country payagba. Waiting do na this white paper, one can make opposition disorder. But say na this white paper, it will make the country go sober. Some man they say the paper makes sense, others they say it no make sense. Some say na waste of resources, you can put the country for losses. All man get your story, we explain about the paper. The man they just sit don't know they do nothing again. What's this paper? The party no get time for we. Then they pan the white paper. The people they angry, they know they for it. Them busy they tell me about paper. Man wake this morning they think but I forgetting for it. So no can tell me about paper. From where the wire come, them busy they draw them plan for the paper. They forget about waiting they for do for the country. They concentrate on the paper. Man a power they talk about the paper. In VP they talk about the paper. Minister then they talk about the paper. They all don't concentrate on the paper. They forget about the thing they wait for do. Thing they wait for better we. Thing they wait them be promise. Wait for better we country. They say then they fight corruption no. Yeah, but it look like now for just opposition no. Yeah, use the anti-corruption commission. Wait for can fulfill the mission. Mission where go lead to confusion. Damage we continue. In fact, we say one of the most corrupt in the population.
Hello, me fambo them. This now una picking BASARAKA once more. So today I promise when I said I can talk about the executive arms of government. You know, I want to make the people them know how government they run and how government they within the government in function there, you know. So now I make so now go be a me because I the count and small. Within the executive, the executive is the organ of government responsible for the implementation, execution, or enforcement of law, policies, and directive made and given by the legislative arm of the government. These them are then there for implement and enforce the law the way Parliament when the Parliament don't approve the law them. So let me just watch you forget bad laws them where the executive arm of government they implement because of we get bad parliament because now they law them when they come out before they turn law. Law are not made and carried out by the same organ. Different organs are therefore responsible for making execution and implementation of law in a country. So this executive arm not only responsible for make law and then not go there then they make law then they implement it and then they do it. If that they happen, that means there is problem in the country. But we say a normal government system now different body now the parliament for make law, executive now them for implement then laws then they for say everybody obey them laws then they. So the executive therefore sees to it that law made in a country are obeyed. So now then they say they obey the laws them they way they don't make. So now let me watch the main function of the executive arm of government. The execution of law. It is the executive arm that execute or implement the law made in the legislature by making sure that they are obeyed. So then law then the registration mean the parliament for the so then law then the way parliament they make now then they foresee say people then obey then law then they and people then go by then law then they. Number 2, give assent to bill. So the head of the executive arm sign and give assent to bill before they can become law. So now then they sign bill them before them become law. Like all law the way they don't can if the government don't law say now they don't go approve on a parliament, but now then they sign and now then it become law. So in this part now the president finance of the executive side. So now watch at the military function. The head of the executive perform crucial military function as the commander-in-chief of the armed force. Who are the commander-in-chief of the armed force? Now the president, and then the head of the military back. So number 4, maintenance of law and order. The executive use the police to maintain law and order in a country through the enforcement of law and order. So the executive they use the police for maintain law and order through where then they enforce the law and order for say people they obey the law and order in the country. Number 5, provision of welfare service. It is the executive that perform the main function of the government, which is provision of welfare service to the citizen. So the citizen then welfare them. Now then they see say then give you good road, good light, good education, facility, other things then now then function then they for see say how then go and do the welfare of the country, the social contract where they will get with them. Number 6, maintenance of external relationship. The executive maintain external relationship, signed treaties, etc. with other country, especially friendly one. So all the relationship the way like they do with other country, then the executive they foresee say then relationship then they in continue with and in maintainer. Now then you law then now them you function then they. Initiation of bill to the registration. The executive sometimes initiate and submit bill to the registration to be passed into law for good governance of the country. So for good governance of a country system, then can make some bill then where then they come with something the way they want in turn law. Get the person through parliament for a parliament go make in turn law for see say how they go able to rule the country. But if a parliament thought and fit say not make, now then write back for reverse and say we not turn law. Like for instance, this corruption business, now then right for the resistance say we no want anything way for do with for say commission of inquiry whatsoever, but the parliament not be able for resist happy. So who is to blame? Is the parliament. Okay, there we go. Number 8, formation of policy. The executive formulate policy that guide the general administration of the people in particular and the country as a whole. So some policies then the way government they carry it for guide the people in particular and the country as a whole. Making of budget. It is the executive that prepared the total proposed financial expenditure and revenue of the government in every new year. So the executive now then they make budget for the country, and then they make the financial expenditure waiting for use for every year. Now they make budget, now then and then they show waiting for use for every year. Propounding of convicts. The executive, through the power granted to it by the Constitution, perform crucial judicial function as propounding and preventing convicts offense in a country. So like people that don't commit crime in a country, they can able for CC, they able to talk for them, they see so some decision then they they pass, then go able to reverse and back. Like for instance, when they say government go able like possibly they don't put na get government go able say when them free out this, now that's the try for talk. Information dissemination. The executive keep the public informed about the activities and policy of the government, thereby bridging the communication gap between the government and the governed. So this government na responsibility for make the citizens they know everything where they happen for see how they go able bridge the communication gap between the government and the people that were in the government, because when miscommunication they can make the citizens then can do something then at the end of the day sometimes then they go to you will, but because of tell them the right thing, so they go do the wrong thing. The solution of the parliament. In a country like Britain, the executive perform the function of ordering the dissolution of the parliament. So if they want for make them they able for do anything na parliament, na like the executive get right for say I go able dissolve the parliament. Okay. Control of external trade. The power of control of what is to be imported and exported in a country rests squarely on the executive. So you see, waiting for import and export na a country and rest na the executive. So if you think wrong na the country, who are for blame? Na the executive arm. The executive arm who for blame na the president. So you see, na they responsible for the import and export of the country. Number 14, appointment of judicial officer. The executive appoint the chief justice of the federation and other high-ranking officer of the judicial, like judge, subjected to ratification by the registration. So all them people then they choose and born na uda for ratify them for when them be na the parliamentarian them for ratify them for when them turn the people they want they wouldn't turn. Dedicated registration. While the registration make the major law, the executive is delegated the power to make minor laws like like parliament then they for make the big law them, but then small law them where then one pass na the executive na get the power for make them small and get the responsibility. So general administration. The executive carry out general administrative function like recruitment of civil servants and exercising discipline control over them, creation of employment opportunity for the citizen, provision of food, shelter, rendering of other essential service to the people of the country. So papa government he don't you. So now you supposed for provide employment, a provision of food, for say now maybe talking shelter and other essential services in the country. Left to the one that can run the months and no thing our government can do. So now this for say able to quit civil servants, then say they able to do their job, all anything in this. So now thank you very much. So this now na picking BASARAKA.
I dey feel for the poor man where they not get so. Waiting can come. Now we wait for it, they affect so. Party begin and they gladly hear the battle. cause them dey na touch line.